Welcome to the Toasting Success series on Mashable presented by the Macallan. I'm Adam Ostro and I'm joined today by Neil Blumenthal, who is co-founder and co-CEO at Warby Parker. Neil, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So Neil, I think most of us know what Warby Parker is. I have them on myself. But I really love the story of how you guys started, and I'm curious about what it's been like. This company you started with 3 of your friends in business school. What it's been like building a business with them?
It's been awesome. It doesn't really feel like work, to be frank. When we started the company, we were actually at a bar and sort of promised each other two things. One was that we were going to bust our butts on it, and two of that we were going to remain friends throughout the process. And I think that sort of promise to each other has just helped sort of build our brand, set our company culture, and allow this to be probably the funnest experience of each of our lives.
And when did you guys really realize you were onto something with this idea?
When we first had the idea, it was like light bulbs went off, right? And that night, none of us could sleep. And I think it was at that moment that we thought like we had this powerful idea. Then, you start working on the business and thinking about, okay, well, how much can we manufacture glasses for? How much can we sell them for? And you hit hiccups along the way. So one thing for us was, would people buy glasses online? And that made us go back to the drawing table and come up with this idea for a home try-on where you can select 5 pairs and we ship it to you free of cost with no obligation to buy. And I think that was also a big turning point in the business. But ultimately, it was actually the first day that we launched, and we were really lucky, and we launched to features in Vogue and GQ. And we thought that we'd have to like beg our parents and our friends to buy maybe a pair or two of glasses a day, but just traffic started coming to the site immediately. We had to start cutting class so that way we could answer the phones and respond to customer emails, and we ended up hitting our first year's sales targets in about 3 weeks.
You mentioned you came up with the idea just at a bar. Talk about a little bit about the importance of just networking and in terms of building your business.
Yeah. It's funny, some people think networking is a dirty word. I really think about it as learning. Right? Warby Parker was able to be built in a relatively short period of time because we spoke to everybody under the sun to get their perspectives and get their advice, because we each came with our own experience set, but we certainly didn't know anything. We had never launched a company before. We had never built a lifestyle brand before. None of us were technical and knew how to build a website per se. So getting advice from other people is just critical.
And what now is the bar for success? At what point will you guys really feel like the company has achieved its mission?
I think what drives us every day is sort of a twofold mission. One is to radically transform the optical industry. So if in 10 years we can look back and say, the price of glasses has come down, or people are just more happy with their glasses purchases and it's more fun, that would be a big win. And effectively, hopefully we would have transferred billions of dollars from some very large multinationals to the consumer. I think the second thing is a bit more lofty, and that's we want to demonstrate that you can build a profitable, scalable company that does good in the world and not charge a premium for it.
I know you guys do some fun things at the office here in New York. Talk a little bit about it.
Sure. So again, it's just how can we make our environment sort of a place where people are going to thrive and have fun. So whether it's inviting sort of Macallan to come in and do a tasting in the office and get people in the office that maybe have never tried sort of a 25-year-old whiskey, have the opportunity to do that. When we passed the 100 employee mark, we brought in these balloons that literally a 1, a 0, and a 0. And when people got to the office that day, there were balloons like just covering the ceiling, and we had sort of 100 up there. We took a group photo. We sort of put it on Instagram. What was funny is that it was actually one of the most shared images of the entire year. I think it sort of demonstrates some of our core values, which is to inject fun and quirkiness into everything that we do.
What's next for you? Where do you hope to be in 5 years?
I think the hope is that Warby Parker is this beloved household brand name that hopefully has inspired a lot of people to either start their own business or acted as an entrepreneur within an existing business and sort of roped in a little bit more social mission and sort of think more about business as sort of a vehicle to solve problems rather than create them.
Great. Well, I think that's a good place to end it. Neil, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.